trying to figure out the best music to play on this thing. I'm not exactly sure which one I should I should play because it all sounds good. I'm a little late. Like 5 hours late. But it's showtime. But that's only because I can't lie to you because I was asleep. But tomorrow I'll be on time 7:30 in the morning. Anyway, good morning, good evening. How's everybody doing? I'm feeling pretty good. I enjoyed the parade in Washington D.C. and I saw Antifa got a butt whooping by some people, and that was cool. So yeah. Other than that, it was a good weekend. Happy birthday, United States Army. I got a few birthdays in that army, so I'm good. We're a team still. My son went to the army last Tuesday. And we forgot to put a piece of a certificate in his. Okay, let me turn off that music right quick. We forgot to put something in his package, right? When he shows up at Fort Leonard Wood, then what happens? He wasn't getting his rank because he didn't have the paper. So of course I got with the recruiter, and he told me what I needed to do, so I went and did it. And then but other than that, okay, now y'all like this. If you've been in the military, you'll like what I did this morning. Okay, you understand. So, okay, somebody please turn off the music. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Don't need the music right now. Okay, so I called Fort Leonard Wood this morning. I called 67 people this morning on Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, looking for my son. Now, being a former private, I knew that nobody really pays a private much attention. Especially when you're a new one and you haven't even got your uniforms yet. But he had to get some paperwork to Fort Leonard Wood today, not tomorrow, but today. So I called. I went on the internet and found everybody's number that I thought was somebody at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And I called everybody. I ticked a few people off. I even called. I guess I called. I called the commanding general's office. I called the sergeant major's office. I called the XO, the BO, the BN, and the BDE commanders. I called everybody because now he was going to be an E3 going in, but they didn't tell me that you had to have 3 years of ROTC. 3 years. He just had 2. Okay, I'm good. So he didn't get the PFC thing, but they were going to make him an E2. Now I got to tell you something. E2 don't sound like much for me and you, but when you just get in with a bunch of guys and they don't have nothing on their sleeves and you got something on yours, hey, that's pretty good. So I continue my investigation this morning to see whether or not anybody would answer the phone. Well, I got a major on the phone, and I got some other people. But you know what really stunned me today about calling Fort Leonard Wood, and for my military friends out there, you'll understand where I'm coming from. What stunned me today is that nobody knew who the commanding general of Fort Leonard Wood was. Okay, that's not important. If you're not an officer, you don't worry about that stuff, right? But we did. But what really got me, nobody knew who the sergeant major, post sergeant major was. I mean, so I'm not talking about recruits. I'm talking about Spec 4s, E5s, and a couple of E6s who didn't know who the commanding general was or who the sergeant major was. Now, if this is what we are putting in our military, yes, we got the right Secretary of Defense, because Hegseth says he's going to make warriors out of them. And one of the things they teach you in the military when you first go in is chain of command. Chain of command. That's an important thing, okay? Now, anyway, so I went out there and we found out. So I called the command sergeant major's office. Said, hey, somebody gonna give me some information where I know where to put this stuff and send this stuff to my boy so he can get his E2 stripes. Now I know E2 to them ain't a whole lot of rank, but to him, it's a lot of rank. And trust me, if you're the only one with a stripe on in your basic training class, that's pretty good. You're gonna get promoted quickly. And I think my son's a born leader, to tell you the truth, as long as you don't have to talk to him. But anyway, enough of that. So, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Now, I'm normally going to do this from 7:30 until 9, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Okay, I woke up a little late today because I was asleep. You know, I mean, when you don't have a job, But I spent all day last week looking for. I'm still looking for a radio job. Although I've seen some, I've been looking for a medical courier job too. Somebody said that job paid, so I put in a bunch of applications and, whoo, you know, putting in for jobs online is a difficult task because you're not the only person. You're not the only person looking for a job. A whole bunch of people looking for a job. And by the time they get to I'm gonna say A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, by the time they get to E, that's like A, B, C, D. That's like 4 alphabets before they get to me. So, and this is America. We got a lot of people named Brown, a lot of people named Chisholms and Cunninghams and things of that nature. So getting to the E, it's going to be tough to do. It really is. I'm with you. But however, so I'm doing that, looking for that, trying to get the podcast. I had to buy some new equipment the other day, and I think I ordered the wrong thing from Amazon. Hold it, y'all hang loose. Let me tell you what I ordered. I'm gonna show you where I went wrong. Now y'all hang loose right there, and I'm gonna show you because okay. Hang loose right there. Okay. This is what I did wrong. So the other day, I'm on Amazon, right? I'm on Amazon thinking I'm buying everything I need. Okay, I'm thinking of buying everything I need, right? So this is studio microphone, right? Studio microphone. But what they didn't tell me, see, I thought I was buying another mixer and all kinds of stuff. But you know what I got in instead? 4 studio microphones, and that was it. So I'm saying to myself, well, what am I gonna do with all of that? I do not know, but I got it anyway. I got it anyway. So now I got to figure out if you need one of these, I sell it cheap. Okay, I got 4 of them. I only need like 2, something like that. Okay, that's it. But anyway, so send me an email or send me a text message or something. Or see, you can text message that number that's on the screen right there. What are 922 3030. You can text message me there if you need a microphone for your little podcast thing. I got 2 of them I can get rid of. But anyway, so much for my own personal stuff. Now let's get down to business. It was a good, interesting weekend. But it was an interesting weekend, and some good news from Eufaula, Alabama. Some good news. There's a young lady down there named Trinity Grant who got $1.9 million in scholarships, and she got accepted to Harvard University. That is good news. Okay, and she's a black child. Okay, so don't tell me it can't be done if people expect it of you to do it. Don't tell me it can't be done. It can be done. We make excuses for our kid. Well, it's kind of hard, but she $1.9 million in scholarships, and she got accepted to Harvard University. That comes with work. That comes with work. It comes with parents who care enough about you to make sure that you're doing your best. And so congratulations to her. And Eufaula. I can't even spell Eufaula, but I know it's someplace in Alabama. Someplace. I don't know exactly where it's at. Also, you can call me if you want to. The number's on the screen right there. Matter of fact, I need a combo check anyway. So, yeah, and what's the number here? 521-2963. Now, you can always text me at 922-3030 if you want to have a conversation. But anyway, congratulations to her. Okay, Trinity Grant from Eufaula, Alabama, and she was involved in so many things in every club. And what surprised me is that she only got a 4.16 GPA, but just go to show you, they gave her a lot. She was in everything. Okay, what's the highest GPA you can get? 4.0, 5.0, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but I think it's, anybody know what is the highest GPA you can get? It's been a long time since I've been in there. I probably didn't make it anyway in my days in school, but I think is it 4.0? And if it is, then she got 4.10, and outstanding. I mean, again, $1.9 million in scholarships and acceptance to Harvard University. Don't tell me it can't be done. It can be done if you're poor, if you're whatever case may be, but you got to want it. You got to want it, which is what I told my son. I said, you join this army, no quitting. It may get rough sometimes, but you do what you have to do. You don't quit. You don't say, I don't like this anymore. You just deal with it. Okay. Because I quit some things in life and it sucked. And my whole life, I was always wondering, could I actually had been better than I am right now if had I not quit? Quitting becomes a habit. That's what somebody was that Bear Bryant who said that, and we don't want to become habits. Okay, we don't want quitting to become habits. But anyway, Z's down at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Then from there he'll go to where would he go? He would go to Fort Gordon. I think they rechanged it back to Fort Gordon. As a matter of fact, I think they named it Novazale or something like that. Or was that who did they name Fort Novazale? Is that Rucker? I think something like that. Anyway, I agree with the president. Listen. Stop trying to unchange what happened in the past. Now here's what I will say. Here's what I will say when it comes to naming all these institutions and things of that nature. Here's what I will say. Anything new that we build, we need to take in serious consideration to other people who contributed, okay, to the building of America. Black, Indians, whoever, especially black folks though. Indian, all these people, Hispanic, are real Indian. I ain't talking about Indian with Coach Chief and all that. I'm talking about the other Indian people from India and things of that nature. Everybody has contributed something to the building of this nation. So let us always remember that. So, but to change the names of institutions that have been there for eons and decades, I'm sorry. That's like giving me somebody's old shoes, and calling them new. No, they're old shoes, calling new. If it burns down, if it gets torn up, if it gets too old, then replace it with something of somebody else. Give somebody else some recognition for the contribution to the United States. But don't give me your old stuff and then repaint it and tell me it's a new wagon. It's the same old wagon with paint on it. Okay. So, but when we build new things like Percy Julian, as far as people are concerned in Montgomery, Alabama, the people who went to Robert E. Lee High School, it is still Robert E. Lee High School. My son went there and was Robert E. Lee, my older son. Okay, it's still Robert E. Lee. Putting paint on it and changing the name don't change what it is. It's still that way. So they're doing the right thing. I saw the other day, they are building a new school, and that new school will have the name Percy L. Julian on it. I think that is a great idea. Okay, if you're but don't give me old shoes and tell me that they're new because you polished them. Okay, don't do that to me because you insult a brother. Okay, if I want some insults, I'll watch wrestling. Okay, because they insult me by making me think that it's real. I'm just saying, so don't insult me. Okay, I'm just saying that be a good thing by which to do. So anyway, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's all right. Now we got a lot of things to talk about today. Because see, I listen to talk shows in Montgomery, right? I listen to them. Not a whole lot going on. Not a lot of things going on when it comes to the significant things in Montgomery. Not a whole lot being talked about, or even in the nation. Okay. Now here's one right here that I don't quite understand. I don't know if WSFA has brought this out, but I know WAKA. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Should everybody who put their name on a list to run for office, should they be seriously considered? And to the point where legitimate TV stations and radio stations actually give them some credit for doing something. Okay, I mean, it should we do that? Okay, should we give people who no way in Hades can win an election? Should we really give them shall we say, um, legitimacy by covering them on TV. Now, this person I'm going to bring up, listen, I guess he's a nice kid. I don't know. He's a nice kid, but he's running for the governor of the state of Alabama. And WAKA, and I think WSFA, has given this child free advertisement when everybody else got to pay. Okay? Everybody else got to pay. But this guy, that comes Jamal Brown. This guy, I'm going to show you a picture of him in a second here. This guy, are they serious? I mean, no wonder we can't seem to get people to run for office if we are going to, shall we say, if we are going to give legitimacy to people like Jamal Brown. It just don't make no sense. I mean, Jamal's a good kid, but ready to be the governor of the state of Alabama? I mean, they ought to be shaming themselves over there. I mean, seriously, they ought to be ashamed of themselves at these TV channels, giving that boy. Let me see if I can find his name. Let me see here. Well, let me see. Let me see. Oh, here he is right here. Okay, here he is right here. Okay. So he is going now. He is running. Let's see, what's he running for? Let me see if I can find him here. He's running for let me see, where's his advertising at right here. He's running for governor. I mean, come on, man. Really? I mean, really? Yeah. Hold it 1 second. Let me see if I can get this over here to you here, because I'm gonna show you this. Okay, this is crazy, but this guy right here. Okay. Okay, is that WSFA? I think it is. Okay, hold on 1 second. Now WSFA. Okay, let me see. Okay, now let's see. Now I can't see him on the line on the thing right here, but I'll get him in a second here. But he is oh, it's on. Wait, it's Facebook. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me put that back where I got it from, because I didn't get it from the right place here. So let me get to where I got to go, because I really don't believe we are giving this guy legitimate credence to actually believe that he is going to be governor of the state of Alabama. Seriously, honestly. Okay, here we go right here. Here we go right here. Okay, now let me bring him right here. Let's see, Jamil. Let me see. Oh, here he is, right here. Okay, now this is the guy the TV stations are actually giving credibility. Okay, credibility, because they really believe that they ought to waste my time on watching TV to give this guy time. Let's listen.
City Council here in Montgomery, but his efforts were unsuccessful. We asked him what makes him the ideal candidate for governor of Alabama.
We need a governor that can understand everyday people's lives. Why now? Why with me? You all know my track record, running for mayor, running for city council. I have the experience.
Running.
I have the knowledge. I have the strength and the motivation to get in state capital and work with legislators both on the Democrat and the Republican side.
And Brown is the only person on the Democrat side to officially declare. On the Republican side, current U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville and Hoover insurance agent Ken McPheeters are seeking the position. The primaries take place on May 19th of 2026. Action 8 News has you covered.
Okay, that's AK. So Jamil Brown, okay, is going to he's running for governor, and he says he's had experience. He does. Let's listen to that one more time.
Democratic side for governor of Alabama. Brown made the announcement this afternoon at his campaign headquarters in West Montgomery. He said he wants to focus on economic relief, justice reform, and education improvements across the state. You may remember that Brown has previously attempted to run for mayor and city council here in Montgomery, but his efforts.
Okay, so his successes is running. Again, not ever winning anything, but running. Now, if that be the case, then I should be a billionaire because I done ran after a lot of money and didn't catch that either. Well, let's see what Mr. Brown has to say. Mr. Brown has said, is there anybody in the state of Alabama, forget the state of Alabama, is there anybody in the city of Montgomery that would give him a vote? Okay.
Were unsuccessful. We asked him what makes him the ideal candidate for governor of Alabama.
We need a governor that can understand everyday people's lives. Why now? Why with me? You all know my track record, running for mayor, running for city council. I have the experience, I have the knowledge, I have the strength and the motivation to get in state capital and work with legislators both on the Democrat and the Republican side.
And Brown is the only person on the Democrat side to officially declare. On the Republican side, current U.S.
So is there anybody that actually believes that this guy should be taken seriously? First of all, he's just too young. Okay, too young. And running for office does not qualify you to be in that office. But you can run for it because this is America, and you can run for office. I mean, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. But is there anybody out here that actually think Jamel Brown and the TV, WAKA, pretty decent TV station, gonna legitimize this guy's campaign? Really? I mean, can we? Okay, here's the question. Is it that the Democrats can't find anybody with experience in life and in politics to run for that office? That we have to go run almost a teenager? Well, he's not a teen. I think he's 30 years old now. He's old enough, of course. But I'm trying to figure out the experience that he talks about. What experience is he talking about? I mean, what experience is he talking about when he says, "I got the experience"? Okay. Well, I'm right here on the public ways of Alabama, and everybody's I'm going to ask the guy on the show because I think he needs. I mean, if he can convince me that he deserves a shot at being governor, well, who knows? I may vote for. Okay, no, I won't. No, I'm lying. No, I won't vote for him. But he does have the right to do. As a matter of fact, I don't know who I want to vote for the governorship. I'm glad that the governor's there now. I think she's getting too old anyway. But Tuberville right now. Listen, if Tuberville wants to be the governor of the state of Alabama, Tuberville is going to be the governor of the state of Alabama. I mean, why insult everybody and waste everybody's time and take those young people's money, which he's trying to get off his Facebook, which is cool. You need money to run a campaign. But is there anybody out here seriously that thinks that this guy can run for governor and be the governor of the state of Alabama? I'm just trying to tell me what you've done besides run for city council and run for this and run for that. And again, now, first of all, let me say, I congratulate him for running. I mean, this is America, and everybody has a right to run. But I just don't know if TV, if television stations really think that you have a shot and you're a legitimate candidate, then there must be a slow news day for them also. Okay, it must be. WAKA ought to be ashamed of taking advantage of that young man. This guy couldn't win a dog race if him and the dog were just running. Okay, I ain't mad at him, but you got to do something in life besides sit on the internet with holding guns and drinking and flabbergasting with a bunch of women and calling yourself a preacher. Now those are not what I call skills to become governor of the state of Alabama. Okay, but you're still young, so you're gonna be all right. You're still young. You're gonna be all right, but you're not ready for that yet. You're just not ready. Jamel Brown, and somebody tell him I said it. He is not ready. He's got a long way to go. First of all, you got to win in office first. How about winning something? Win the dog catcher or I don't know, city council person, school board, anything. Win something. So we just supposed to take. Now I will admit to you that Trump came out of no place and became president of the United States. He did. But Trump had certainly got the one thing that you don't, and that's money. See, money can pretty much buy an office. Now if you come up with like $5 million, you make it pull it off, Jamel. You make it pull it off. But I'm sorry, I love you. You're like a little kid, little son to me. But you are not ready for the governor's seat in the state of Alabama. But here's what I will do. If you become the governor of the state of Alabama, I will be your driver anywhere you want to go, and you don't even have to pay me. Okay, I'll drive you around to your place. Well, okay, you got to pay me a little bit, but you can pay me minimum wage, and I'll drive you anywhere. Not in my car, of course, the state car. I'll be your driver. Okay, for minimum wage, $7.25 an hour. That's all I need. Okay, and I'll be home. So now y'all somebody get the word out to Jamel that if he wins, he can pay me out of his own pocket $7.25 an hour to be a if he wins the governorship. Okay, so campaign 2026, Montgomery community activist Jamel Brown has announced he's running for governor, and that's all he's gonna be doing is running. But anyway, the numbers here, if you want to give us, anybody think I'm wrong? Because I don't want to discourage young people from running for office. You don't want to do that, but you also don't want to fill their head with a bunch of nonsense. Okay, nonsense. Okay. You can call in if you want to. Anybody wants to call, that's fine. 521-2963. If you're out there, I know you're working. I know, and from the future, I'm going to do this from 7:30 to 8. I mean 7:30 to 9, but I woke up late today. So Chasen, sorry about that, brother. But brother got to get some sleep sooner or later. Okay. Brown has previously ran for Montgomery mayor, Montgomery City Council, but his efforts were unsuccessful. Okay. Unsuccessful means you had a chance of being successful. Okay. His efforts were null and void. Okay. Brown is the only Democrat to officially declare for the governor's race so far. On the Republican side, of course, U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville and Hoover insurance agent Ken McPheeters are in the race. Now, we got less than a year for the primaries for the governor's race, which May the 19th next year. If I'm still here, I'm good. If I'm not, just remember I told you that no. If I'll put it this way, if this young man becomes governor of the state of Alabama, okay, that would be the biggest upset. If he beats Tommy Tuberville, that would be the biggest upset in the history of politics in America. In the whole America. Like Dewey versus what was that one? Was that Truman versus Dewey? Yeah, that was a big upset back in the day. This would surpass that by at least 5,000%. Now, let's get back to something else that happened over the weekend. No King's protest. Did it work? Did it mean anything? No. I do like what one of the sheriffs said. Oh, did you notice we really didn't have a whole lot of violence in these protests in America? Well, I knew they wasn't going to have one in Florida because the Florida sheriff said, well, if you spit on us for just doing our job, the first place you're going is to the hospital. And then we're going to take you to jail. If you if you spit on us, we're gonna give you a butt whooping and then take you to jail. If you somehow spit on us, disrespect you, And he said, if you gather around somebody's car, I love this one because in the COVID, not the COVID 2020, and in the George Floyd thing, people were actually pulling people out of their cars on the freeways of America. I remember they stopped a FedEx truck, it was a FedEx truck, a UPS truck, one of those trucks, and yanked the man out, broke the doors of the truck open and stole things. And one guy, bless his soul, he got crushed between the tires because he was on back of the truck doing something he had no business to do, trying to steal. Okay. Well, here's what the sheriff said in Florida. Well, if you try to stop a vehicle, they're going to look at it and they can run you over. He's going to look at it as if you think your life is in danger, you have a right to continue on with your mission. And if that son of a gun gets in the middle of the tires of that car, too bad for him. I love that. And you know what? We didn't have nobody trying to pull anybody out the car over the weekend. But here's what I really like. He says, if you throw Molotov cocktails at us, if you shoot at us, if you have knives at us, we are going to kill you graveyard dead. Okay, I'm good with that. Yes, sir. They're going to stand their ground. Okay, because that's and Nixon during the Vietnam War, during the Vietnam protest, he pretty much said the same thing at some of those demonstrations that there. So demonstration is okay in America, but it says peaceful demonstration. Okay, so did you see nobody got out of control? Okay, nobody tried to block people's cars from moving down the street or anything like that. No, we were good. Yeah, we were good. When the sheriff says we're gonna shoot you graveyard dead, I think listen, that is a good motivator. That's a motivator to tell you, well, maybe we better not try to pull anybody out their car. Yeah, maybe we ought not. Maybe we ought not do that. I'm just saying. We ought not do that. Okay. So the No Kings protest. Yeah, I didn't. I like I told a friend of mine, Donald Jenkins. I said, Donald, it's going to be insignificant, and it was, and it will be, because logic and reason, at some point, will come back into the lexicon of American politics and the American culture, because right now it's gone. It's gone. We don't think logically. Okay, we just don't. We don't use reason. And here's my favorite one: common sense. We have a hard time. The best way in this country, if you don't like something or somebody, vote against them. And if you don't get enough people to help you vote against them to get them out of office, that's on you. But but the sheriff said we're gonna kill you graveyard dead. Okay, listen. Is there anybody in America that is willing to go out and act stupid if the sheriff say, if you endanger us, we're gonna kill you graveyard dead? If you get in front of somebody's car, they have a right to run your ass over. Okay, all right. I'm just saying that's all we need to do. Give people the opportunity to defend themselves. Okay, and in Alabama, that's gonna be kind of hard to do because even the crooks carrying guns and everybody else without a crook carrying a gun also. So I guess so nobody. We didn't give in too much trouble in Alabama because everybody's got a gun. Even the people who are not supposed to have a gun have a gun. Okay, I mean that's just the way it goes. Okay, let me see here now. So nobody has anything to say about that. I'm just saying nobody has anything to say about that. Okay, well that's cool. I can live with that. Let me make sure my phone is working because there's got to be somebody with a thought on this particular. I know you guys are all working right now, but I'm just saying you can sneak a call in. Let me see. What is my number here? 521 2963. Okay. Okay, let me just see if this thing is working these days. I guess it is. All right, good. Okay, I feel you. Okay, so it's working. That's a good combo check there. Anyway, so moving right along to other things. So, what the sheriff did, he employed stand your ground on steroids. Okay, stand your ground on steroids. You can try to drag me out my car, prohibit me from going from one place to another, putting my life in danger, or making me feel that you're putting my life in danger, and we're gonna just take care of all this. Okay, and you know that. Mobile County Sheriff Paul Birch stirred controversy this week with blunt remarks about using vehicles in self-defense if protesters block the road. I'm with that one too. Vivian Figures, the Congresswoman, Vivian Figures, who is the mother. What's his name? Who got her really like? Even though he's a Democrat, what's his name? He's Figures too. Shamari Figures. His mother getting on TV doing, well, he needs to do something. No, he told the truth. Okay, if you make me feel uncomfortable, if I feel that you're going to deny me life and liberty, I will run your ass over. Absolutely. Yeah, if you make me feel my life is threatened, absolutely. I'm with the sheriff down there. I should call him up and tell him thank you. Somebody send me the number. I think I will call him up. Who's the sheriff of Mobile County Sheriff Paul Birch stirred controversy? Yeah, I'm good. He said, I didn't by any means insinuate plowing through a crowd at 55 miles an hour. He did not. Birch said, okay, he did not do that. Okay. So, clarifying the comments he made on FM Talk 106.5 the day before. No, I knew what he was saying. I'm good. I'm good with what he said. Is there anybody out there walking around says like my Mr. Bowling? You say anybody out there walking around that didn't agree with him? Of course we agree with him. I saw people doing the George Floyd thing, not personally, but by news. I saw people dead because people stopped them on the highway and took them out of their car. They took them out of their cars. Okay, all in the name of protest. Well, I don't think we had any problem with anybody doing that this Saturday. I don't think we had a problem at all. God bless the United States Army and its soldiers and young men and women like mine who's in there now going through basic training at the moment. And God bless those young men and women who put their butt on the line. See, in the military, you know you're going in harm's way, so you get you're trained for that. Going down the highways or streets in America, you don't train like it's Iraq. You don't train like it's Iraq, and you gotta avoid Molotov cocktails or IEDs. No. This is America for the time being. If the Democrats, and it's amazing me how the Democrats want to call everybody Nazis all the time, but they act like Nazis, stopping you from going where you want to go, not liking you because of something that you said. They sound like the Nazis. It's amazing that they always call Trump a Nazi. And they're the ones who want to limit your freedoms in order to communicate in this country. Online, I mean, on talk radio, on TV. Listen, I don't want to change anybody's mind. Okay? I don't want to change anybody's mind. I'm giving you what's on my mind. You can either agree or disagree, but you can't be me. Okay? You just can't be me. Let me see. But he said, when you start blocking highways and roadways, it is no longer a protest. It's rioting behavior. And you're restricting the movement for people. He went on to say further, if you feel you are in danger, you can legally push your way through a crowd with that vehicle. If someone is too stupid to move out of the way, then that's on them. Imagine being surrounded with your family in the car, your kids in the car crying by people banging on your car. Well, Birch is not alone in his rhetoric. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has suggested that drivers who feel unsafe around protesters can use their vehicle to escape. A sheriff in southeastern Florida warned a crowd surrounding their vehicle could be dragged across the street. The remarks arrived just before Saturday's No Kings protest. And again, I saw, the funny thing about the No Kings process, the No Kings protest this weekend, funny thing about it, did you notice who the majority of the No Kings were? The No Kings protests were? You know who they were? I hate to go here. A bunch of white liberals. Okay, That's who it was. A bunch of women and men who thought they were women. Okay. Other than that, I didn't see any significant number of people protesting. Okay, and is there anybody out there who actually thinks that the president of the United States is trying to be king? Seriously, is there anybody out there that thinks that the president of the United States is trying to be king? The Democrats try to be king. Matter of fact, you know what? Remember what Obama said one time? He said, "I don't need Congress. I got a pen and a piece of paper." You remember when he said that? He said, "Yeah, I got a pen and a piece of paper," which means an executive order and a pen to write it. And until it gets overturned, at that point, then it's law. Okay, I'm just saying. You might want to think about that. So who tries to be a dictator? The Republicans or as a matter of fact, sometimes I think the Republicans are a little bit too lenient. Except, but I will say this much about the Republican Party: the judicial system and the departments of where they put people in jail is too politicized, and it's too politicized by Republicans. I will tell you that much. It's too politicized by Republicans, and I don't know why we can't at least have somebody on the Supreme Court that looks like me, not me personally, but somebody who's been poor, somebody who's been and it don't have to be. We're not talking about 1952 poor. We're talking about today. Well, why can't we seem to get? Are we a black man can't make? When I got here, Oscar Adams was on the Supreme Court, and we haven't had one in 30-something years since he's been there. And I'm just wondering, why is that? Can we not put somebody black on the Supreme Court? I mean, I know we got some smart people around here in law, don't we? I think we do. We got some smart people in law who can understand the law, the premise of law, the spirit of law, and the legalities of law. It just seems like to me, I don't know why we can't get somebody. But that's just me. And it's not, okay, let me put it this way. It's not affirmative action I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is empathy. Okay, now there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is what you use when you don't know really what I'm going through, but you feel sorry for me. Empathy is you've been there. You have been there, and you know what it's like. We're not making excuses for it. I saw a movie last night by Tyler Perry, and it's called The Last Straw. Outstanding. See, at first I wasn't going to watch it because he makes movies with gay folks and all that stuff. I don't want to see a man wearing dress. I don't want to see that. But I have to tell you something. If you look, go to this movie called Straw by Tyler Perry, you will be pleasantly surprised how great a movie, and it's not very long. I think it's maybe an hour and a half, maybe. And you'll be surprised what a great movie it is. It's got nothing to do with men. It's got nothing to do with thugging. It's got nothing to do with sex. It's got something to do that shows us at any given day, any given hour, any given week, your life can go from being up here to down here. And you have no control of it. You have no control of it. So I gotta tell you, it's a good movie. If you can watch it, I ain't gonna tell you about the movie, but you need to watch it. Everybody in America needs to watch this movie. And then I believe that the empathy that seems to be missing often in this country would come back. Not sympathy. I don't need your sympathy. But if you understand where I'm coming from, doesn't justify some of the things I've done, you've done, you may do, but at least we will know how it feels. So if you get a chance to see this movie, you should give me extra money for telling you to go see this movie. but it really is a great movie. It's called The Last Straw, or it's called The Straw, or something like that. STRAW. Do that, okay? Yeah, do that. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, it is what time is it? It's 1:40 in the afternoon, right here on I'm here on the Decisions 2.0 podcast. And I'm probably gonna run this later on because this is some good stuff here. So nobody wants to call. So everybody agrees with me today. Okay. 521-2963. So everybody agrees with me today, and I'm good. I just need a commo check here. So somebody call me just to make sure it's going through. Hey, Big C, just to make sure that it's going the way it's supposed to be going. Okay, I'm just saying. Y'all might want to call me in and let me know. Okay. Good afternoon, Christine. How is our sister Cindy? I gotta call her up anyway, see how she's doing. So anyway, so move right along to other things. Now, here's a case in Montgomery that we had thought had long since been adjudicated, where everything it is now. A federal judge dismissed former Montgomery Police Chief Ernest Finley's lawsuit against the city. Judge Christy Du Bois found no evidence on Finley's claims of racial discrimination, retaliation, or conspiracy. Now, I don't understand how you can claim racial discrimination when the guy who hired you and fired you is a black guy. Who hired him? I think I believe Todd Strange hired him. I think, but how can it be racial discrimination when the guy who fired you is a black guy? I'm just saying. Judge Christy Du Bois found no evidence of Finley's claims of racial discrimination, retaliation, or conspiracy. So a federal chief dismissed all legal claims against the city of Montgomery brought by the former police chief. Judge Christy Du Bois of the United States District Court for the Middle District of Alabama found no evidence of Finley's allegations of racial discrimination, retaliation, or conspiracy, the city announced. In her 33-page opinion, stated that the city's decisions, I like that word, decisions, were rooted in documented performance and leadership concerns such as rising violent crime and internal complaints within the department. Du Bois also said that the city followed proper procedures, provided legal representation for Finley, and did not interfere with the Ethics Commission process that cleared him of formal charges. Said, we appreciate the court's thorough review, and we're grateful for a ruling that reaffirms the city's commitment to fairness, accountability, and the rule of law. Mayor Stephen Reed said in his statement, our administration has always put public safety and integrity first. Let me think about that for a second. And we will continue working to ensure Montgomery a safe, equitable city for all. Well, equitable, we can talk about that some other time. That I am grateful for the dedication officers who continue to serve with honor and professionalism every day. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Well, anyway, so Finley not going to get the big bucks he thought he was. I like Finley, though. I thought he was kind of soft, though. I thought he was kind of a soft policeman. We need an Emory Farmer police chief, kind of like him. Okay, no slack, take it back. Put a foot in somebody's butt. As long as you're right, I'll put my foot in there with you. But if you're wrong, we're gonna put 2 feet on you. Okay, I'm just saying. So the number's here if you want to give us a call, 521-2963. Now, if you listen to this show in the afternoon, after 2 o'clock, whatever the case may be, after 2:30, I'm leaving at 2:30. You won't find it. It won't be live. It'll be after live. Okay, I'm just saying you might want to do that. But this is some good stuff here. Anyway, so much for that. So now here's a question that I have for people. This came out last week. Alabama's oldest prison inmate dies at age 106 in Birmingham Hospital. And I see what they said he did. Okay. Floyd Lee Coleman, 106, died Wednesday at UAB Hospital, according to Jefferson County Coroner's Office. Coleman was serving a life sentence for the slaying and rape of a 7-year-old girl in Bessemer. Chief Deputy Coroner Bill Yates and Coleman was taken from William Donaldson Correctional Facility to UAB Hospital on May the 19th with medical complication. He was pronounced dead at the hospital at 6:09 p.m. Yates said there's no evidence of trauma or foul play. Here's my question. At 100 years old, why do we keep a man in prison? Seriously, at 190 years old, it's not going to hurt anybody. He claimed he didn't do what they said. I don't know if he did or not. But at 100 years old, why do we keep a man in prison? Put him in a nursing home. You know, leave him some dignity. I don't know if he did what they said, but I do know this much. We all pay for the things we do, either in this life or the next. But at 100 years old, 106 years old, you know, I just, aren't we want to give humanitarian help to people from other countries that the Democrats are whining about because we want to give them due process. And maybe this guy had due process, I don't know. But at 100 years old, we know some of these people have killed people, so like that, and we want to let them into the country. But we don't want to give a 100-year-old some mercy and grace and let him out of prison at 100 years old. He was 106 when he died. What's the purpose? I mean, really, what is the purpose of keeping a man in jail that long? Again, if he did what they say he did, and they say that he said he didn't do it, I do not know. But even if he did do it, God will judge him. Again, 106 years old. Who you are a danger to? You know, who are you a danger to? Because no matter what we do, we can't bring anybody back. I don't know if he did it or not. You know, I'm always looking at our legal system. I'm always concerned that somebody got screwed, glued, and tattooed. I'm concerned that it wasn't very fair back in those days. Okay, so it's just tough. It's just we don't want to let people get away with murder or anything like that. But it's tough sometimes, especially in the South, where a man's, especially a black man's word, wasn't worth too much. You know, it wasn't worth too much, and so I don't know if he did it or not. I don't have a clue. But I know at 102 years old, why in the world, why would we want to keep him in prison at 106 years old? It's not a danger to anybody. Why? Okay, I don't know. That's not my call. He was originally sentenced in 1979 to die in the Alabama electric chair for the slaying and rape of the girl. But the Alabama Supreme Court in 1981 ordered a new trial because of the state's new death sentence statute. Before the second trial, Coleman pleaded guilty and he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole in August 1984. Coleman, according to the judge's original sentencing order, was 60 years old when he saw the victim, a 7-year-old Quintina Steele, on a Bessemer street on December 3rd, 1978. He led her to his bedroom in a nearby rooming house of an old hotel where he strangled her to death. I don't know. Did he do it? He said he didn't. I do not know. So it's a tough one. Now, let's go to our neighbor to the north, okay, which is Birmingham. They plan for a youth curfew. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Exhibition driving crackdown also. Parents will be held accountable. Montgomery should do this too. And again, a crackdown on the curfew in Birmingham used as part of the police department's strategic plan for the city's summer months. Chief Michael Pickett on Friday announced several initiatives that he said will make Birmingham safer for both kids and adults. I don't know if that's true, but at least it's something. The plan, he said, is rooted in three key principles: visibility, accountability, and engagement. So we know historically in law enforcement that there is an uptick in crime in summer months, and that's true. We also know there's an uptick in robberies and theft during the holidays. The chief said it's important to have a plan. And what I can't understand is why the people, and I think the mayor's against it too. Why are we against curfews? Okay. Why does the city council of Montgomery have no gonads and put one in force at 16, 17 years old? Unless you are working, you have no business being on the streets of Montgomery. Okay, at that time of night, because all you're looking for is trouble. That's all you're looking for. Can't find nothing else, because all you're looking for is trouble. So I'm just saying, y'all might want to think about this, Mr. City Council, Mr. How many people? We got Mr. Pruitt, Miss Johnson, Miss what's the black lady's name down there? And whatever her name is, she doesn't. I don't think she likes me anyway. But what's her name? Frida Riley. Is her name Riley? I think so. Cornelius, Calhoun, Szymanski. We got Mr. Jenwright. All these people. Why can't we get a curfew at least in the summertime? Yeah, because historically we know that there is uptick in crime and everything else in the summertime. Kids ain't got nothing to do. Okay, so I'm just wondering, why can't we do that? Well, I know one of the reasons, because I think the mayor thinks all you're going to pick up is black kids. Well, no, that's a great possibility since the city is predominantly black. I mean, I would think that, yeah, you're going to pick up black kids. And if you go downtown to the jail, most people in jail now, and we can argue about whether or not the police stop white people or anything like that. But we can argue that later on. But most people who are picked up are black on street crimes. You see, I'm not worried about the sweet crimes. I'm worried about the street crimes. See, on the sweet crimes, that's SUITE. On the sweet crimes, they may steal your money, but I get the money back. Okay, but on the streets, they steal your TV, and TVs cost money. Okay, I don't want to have to buy another one. Okay, so I'm just saying. So keep the crime in the suites, take it off the streets. Hey, listen, Mayor, you can use that one. Okay, take the crime off the streets. Let's leave it in the suites. Oh, that's great. I gotta get a. I just gotta get I gotta get that on a what are those things you put on your bumper? I gotta get one of those. I gotta get one of those. I gotta get what that tag you put on your bumper. I gotta get one. Take the crime out the streets. Let's leave it in the suites. Okay. All right, I'm with you. Okay. And here's another breaking news, and I've always been against it. Alabama signs a $7.4 billion nationwide opioid settlement with Purdue Stackler family. Now, here's my problem with that. You know, in America, we have a tendency to blame everybody for the things we do. Right? We blame everybody for the things we do. If you go out there and get hooked on crack or opioid, isn't that your problem? I mean, you're the one, you're the one taking them. I mean, nobody's taking them but you. I mean, really? I mean, are we ever going to ask anybody to be accountable for their own self? Are we going to ask anybody to do that? And again, when I get down, I got to call Fort Leonard and see how my boys doing. They're going to get tired of me calling out there because I asked for the. Can I get the bass sergeant major? Yeah, Z's gonna be well known before he leaves. He's gonna be well known before he leaves that base. Okay, hey, check on him. Okay, now according to somebody in Alabama, Alabama reading scores are improving while the rest of the U.S. struggles, but thousands of students still face retention. Okay, who believes that? I don't believe that. But I guess it is possible. I mean, when you're on the floor, the only place you can go is up, right? Would you? Reading scores are improving in Alabama, but thousands of third graders could still be held back this year if they can't catch up over the summer. Okay. Well, I hope they do catch up. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Okay. But let's hope that that takes care of it. So he said, when adjusted to current benchmarks, there's about 88% of third graders students are reading on or above level. Anyway, okay, so listen, I gotta take a break. I'll be right back right after this pause for the calls. So don't you guys go no place. I'll be back in a minute. I gotta take care of a water leak. Okay, so hang loose. I'll be right back. Uno momento. Okay, I'll be right back. So don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. Yeah, we're back. I'm here. I said here, not queer. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. I got a couple more minutes before we get done. Got about 30 minutes before we get done with this. But just want to tell you about reading scores. Okay, the reading scores are supposed to be better. I don't know if we are doing better, but listen, I'm gonna let them go for it. I have nothing else to do with the public school system in America, so it has been an interesting time. Graduation rate. Oh, let me turn that music off. Hello. Graduation rates. The department has also reported record graduation and career readiness rates this year. Among the class of 2024, 91.6% of students graduated on time, up from 90% last year, and a record high for the state. Starting in 2025 to 2026 school year, students will have to meet a number of college career readiness indicators to be able to graduate. You know, and I don't know. I find that to be wrong. I think that's everybody doesn't want to go to college. So why should they be Why should they be graded on whether or not they? All I want to know, can they read, write, and do arithmetic? Okay, it is not fair for everybody to be judged by whether or not they want to go to college. I couldn't stand going to, and as a matter of fact, I went when I got out of the Army for about a year, and that was about it. It bored me then too. So why should we? But can I read? Can I write? Okay. Can I add, multiply, subtract, and divide? If I can do all of those, I pretty much can be a viable citizen in this country. I pretty much can get a job and do all that stuff. Now, if I want to become a doctor or a lawyer or things of that nature, then I think that's when you have to get those higher. You have to do better in those other areas. But why do we do that? Okay. A number of they'll have to meet for the students of 25 to 26 school year. They'll have to meet a number of college and career readiness indicators to be able to graduate. About 88% of students met those benchmarks this year, up from 84% last year. But again, I just don't understand why. Can I read? Can I write? Can I understand what I read? Is my comprehension good? And can I multiply, subtract, divide, and divide? I mean, can I multiply? Multiply, subtract, divide, and add. Can I do that? If you can do that, you will be a citizen who can get a job in the United States of America. You can do it. Because all the rest of that stuff. Like my son asked me one day, he got a C in calculus, and I said, son, can't you do better? He asked me a 4-word question. And I shut up. I had to shut up. He said, Dad, I said, yeah, can you do it? Now really? We never had that conversation again. But I will say one thing. The next time he got his report card, he got an A in it. So just by me motivating him to ask me how dumb I was when it came to calculus, guess what? He motivated himself to do better. So see, sometimes it don't take a whole lot of conversation, just a little bit, okay? Because he was able to make me look bad. That's cool. I'm good. Also, the legal battle between the town of Haynesville and Lowndes County and County Sheriff Christopher West and the County Sheriff Christopher West has come to an end. Well, that's good. Okay, they don't need to be doing that anyway. Okay, and I don't know what's going on in Israel right now. I don't understand why some people in this country have a problem supporting Israel. I really don't. I mean, I'm not Jewish. Don't understand Judaism. Don't understand. But I do know one thing. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and I believe that we were admonished to support them. They're God's chosen people. I don't know why. Now I don't even know what that actually means, God's chosen people, because I figure He likes all of us. But there are some people. It's kind of like your kids. You know, you got 5 kids, but there's always that one kid that you just, that just treats you nice and hugs you and do all kind of things and you like them. So I don't know why Israel's God's chosen people, but all I know, I believe that they are, and we owe them allegiance. And they're setting in a place when everybody on every border of them wants to run them to the sea, drown them in the sea. So I don't know why we have such a problem with supporting. But somebody can tell me why. Maybe somebody can tell me why. I don't know why. Somebody can tell me why. I don't have a clue why. But do that. Now I'm going to get a new email for the show. We're going to have that. Done by tonight, and I'll put it on Facebook page. Let you know what that email is to deal with the things that we talk about in there. And we're going to try. I'm actually going to turn my show into a nonprofit organization, or try to anyway. And that way, we can go back to doing the things we do around Christmas time, collect donations, help people who can who need a light bill paid, or people who need some food for Christmas, or whatever it is. We're going to try to do that. Because I personally think if you got access to the airways, you got access to people, you have an obligation to help those who can't help themselves. Not those who won't help themselves, but those who can't help themselves. Okay, so that, like I tell people, I'll fight for anybody who can't fight for themselves. But I'm not going to fight for you if you won't fight. But I'll stand shoulder to shoulder with you if I think you're right. Okay, that's me. That's the way I roll. That's the way I roll. Okay. Anyway, I gotta go, but I'll tell Z that all you guys are praying for him and hoping that he comes through his military basic training. He's going to be changed. He's certainly going to be changed, and that's for sure. I don't know what I know what kind of son we sent him, but I don't know what we're getting back. He sometimes he come home from school and he give me his bag to hold for him. And I told him, this is the only time that a private's going to tell a sergeant what to do. I said, so you enjoy this moment of this, okay? Because just because the sergeant happens to be dad, you won't be doing this no more. Okay, I'm just saying you don't, we don't play that. Okay, but anyway, we'll see. Now once he gets on basic training, he really think I work for him. Anyway, listen, it's been a fun day. Now in the morning we're gonna do this in the morning from now on, from like 7:30 to 9, somewhere around there. Okay, so don't y'all be gone. I just thought I had to come do it because I was supposed to do it this morning, but I overslept. I overslept. Okay, that's just the way it goes. Sometimes I don't have to meet the man. Okay, I am the man. I don't have to meet the man. Okay, so hopefully we'll turn this thing into something different. And and I try to stick to local things when I can. I mean, you can get all the you can get all the national news all day long. But I'm going to scour the town. I'm going to scour the city to find things that are going on here. Because at the end of the day, the only thing we can do something about, only place is right here. We can't change what the president does, whether you like him or not. We can't change that. We can't do anything about that. But we can do something about our fellow citizen and what goes on here and things of that nature. At least I hope we can anyway. So anyway, I gotta go, but you guys hang loose and hold on. Where's my music? Where is my music? Okay, I gotta leave out here with some class. Okay, I'm just saying. Let's leave out here with some class. Yes, I did take care of. I gotta take. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I did take care of what Z needed. Yeah, we got to go. I took care of that. What's my name? Sergeant Elkins. Okay, I took care of that. Okay, I'm just saying. You know, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. But unless I promise to do it, yeah, check on me because sometimes I get sometimes I get absent minded. Okay, so gotta go. Thanks for listening. For the few that did, for the folks that did, we're gonna replay this probably about 4:30, just to see if anybody else wants to hear the great wisdom that comes out of my mouth. And if you don't, but this is the only place in town where you can run into common sense, logic, and reason, all in one place. Other than that, you can't find it. Okay, I'm just sorry. That's just the way it goes. Okay, that's just the way it goes. I'm the only guy in town with common sense, reason, and logic. Okay, I do. I mean, I may be without one of them some days, but I'll never be without two of them. You can believe that. Okay. Anyway, we'll be back. Well, not uno momento, but mañana. Okay. Oh, and we're gonna have a talk about immigration with a local Hispanic guy, and so we can get their part of this, so we can understand their part, and because we only hear one side of it most of the time. We don't hear both sides. So let's just look at both sides. Me, I have to tell you, and I mentioned this before. I understand what the president's doing, but I certainly don't like the way it's being done. That part I just don't like. We need to come up with a better strategy. If we stop you on the road, you get stopped, or something happens. You need to verify your citizenship. But it does not give us a good look to round people up like they're cattle and treat them the way we do. The ICE does. And I understand they got their job. Listen, I understand everybody's got a job, but it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. This is America, and we ought to be able to do it better, faster, and more humane than what we're doing. Because after all, some of these people were invited here by the Bush. I'm not by the Bush, by the well, hell, over the last between Obama and Biden, there was no certain policy that they had when it came to immigration. I don't know why we make this immigration so tough. Okay, now, and I'm with the president. If you want to give us $5 million and come and you want to buy your citizenship, I'm all good for that. Let somebody put some money in the thing rather than take the thing. But we can have that conversation later on too. So anyway, have a good day. I enjoyed talking to you guys today. So y'all hang loose, and we will. Well, we just have to see how it goes. All right. So I'm feeling good. You're feeling good. Everybody's feeling good, right? All right then. So, as we say in the Army, at ease, rest.